After this video, I almost expect a canonical strike team on my front porch. But what can I do when the first official Ubuntu flavor on the test list fails during install? Look at this! Edubuntu produces an error message that tells you nothing. And then it just won't install. Not fit for purpose. Which is the same label I used for Ultramarine Linux. However, in that case, I used an old ISO. Therefore, a correction video was in order, which had a rather different outcome. But this, let me show you the live session. I suppose this was an education in how to not do it. Well, let's move on then. To Kubuntu, which is obviously the official Ubuntu flavor with the KDE desktop environment. And there's also KDE Neon, which is more so developed by the KDE community, but it is, I believe, still Ubuntu based. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, KDE Neon sits on top of the Ubuntu core foundations. It's just KDE Neon breaks the ties to Ubuntu even more so than Kubuntu does. In rough terms. There's probably way more to it. If you're into that, you can read up on it. I tried KDE Neon for a while and yeah, it's fine. But I ran into some issues and then just moved on. Actually, in that case, I moved back to Ubuntu Studio. I don't want to get into that again. I made 2 videos on the topic and that's the end of that for me. So anyhow, this is now Kubuntu. And for the first time, I'm actually greeted not only by the KDE Plasma Welcome Center, which I will skip for now, but also it recognizes my display as 4K. However, I will bite the bullet, since user Keys of Perfection made me aware that 4K recorded content and then converted too many times and blah blah blah, and then YouTube puts their stupid stuff on top. It looks real crap on smaller displays, laptop and mobile phones and such. And I have to admit, he is right. So that's why I will from now on record, if possible, exclusively in the native 1920 to 1080 resolution that the YouTube prefers. So let's switch to that, and then for you guys everything should be larger, because now it's 1920 by 1080 all the way through. If YouTube later on puts some kind of a weird upscaler or something else on it, I can't deal with that. I mean, that's out of my hand. But there is something that really annoys me, is when I switch, why does it always look like this? Like other systems, when you switch the resolution, even on a larger display, they at least try to upscale it to something that is stretched, which is not always great, I get it, but anyhow. This is your regular KDE Plasma desktop. I already hooked up Wi-Fi during the installation. The Kubuntu installer is a little bit differently organized than the standard Ubuntu one, but nothing out of the ordinary. You will definitely get along. And we will see that this is something I don't understand, right? It has YouTube right there, but as soon as I click Y, it's gone. This is something I generally don't understand in search engines. Is on YouTube the exact same thing. It shows you, you type in the first 3 letters of a video and it shows you the video there, but if you're on a TV and you accidentally already clicked the 4th letter, the video is gone. I don't get it. Anyways, not the topic. YouTube works out of the box, no problem. I can attest that sound already works. As always, it's just my little crappy speaker obviously sucks monkey balls. There we go. Works, done, coolio. What else does it come with? Office. Comes with LibreOffice. Let's check out the writer. I don't know if I knew. What theme are we on? Are we on a dark theme or are we on a light theme? It's hard to tell because this down here, it could be this weird... Oh, could have just done this down there, settings. That was stupid. We are obviously on a light theme. We are on the regular breeze theme. That's why the freaking windows are bright. Jesus Christ, I didn't sleep well last night. Sorry, guys. So that means this is all bright. This is fine. Let's just see. We close this again. Change to breeze dark. Apply. This changed. Let's see if the change happened in LibreOffice Writer as well. And indeed it did. Yay, yay, yay. We can then display and monitor. Scaling. There we go. You can scale in 6.25 steps, because this is still on KDE Plasma 5, not on 6. Let's see what it does when we do that. Let's apply. Nothing. Apply. $125. Apply. Okay, let's try that again. We put this window here. Maybe we see a difference then. Display and monitor. Oh, now it's bigger, isn't it? I see. Let's do that again. Go down, apply, and it indeed applies. It's just in the active window. It does not change until I restart settings. Okay, there we go. But we go back to this is indeed way too large. Apply. Thank you. This is fine. What else does it come with? Development, Kate, yeah. I have a few games in here. Apparently all KDE games, because they have the K in front. Graphics, you have your picture viewer, LibreOffice Draw, because it comes with the LibreOffice suite. Internet, KDE Connect, I showed that in the Aurora video. Multimedia, it comes with the Elisa and the Haruna media driver, player, sorry. Office, we did that already. Settings, system, utilities, lots of stuff. So quite complete for an out-of-the-box system. Let's start and install something. It's our Discover store. Let's go to SETI. Yeah, there's 218 updates. I'm not going to do them right now. So look, if you want to have the Flatpak backend installed, you just click here, install. That is definitely different than on the other Ubuntu distros, like Ubuntu Studio. It didn't have that. I had to do that like by hand. Oh, quick interjection here. I just went through the trouble and started a live session of the original Ubuntu 2404 ISO, which I used to start this whole YouTube journey over a year ago now. And it turns out that the Discover store apparently comes standard with this integrate Flatpak and FlatHub as a repository function in the GUI under settings. However, I didn't know that. So therefore, I did what everyone tells you, Google stuff. And when you Google how to enable Flatpak on Ubuntu, even if you Google how to enable Flatpak on Ubuntu Studio, which uses KDE, not GNOME, 95% of the results, basically the first 10 pages essentially, are, oh, you just have to install GNOME utilities this and GNOME that and God knows what else. But you're using KDE. And then the majority of these results also tells you, oh, just open a terminal and use these commands. Like, no one can tell me seriously that doing a terminal command, this set of terminal commands, is more convenient than just going to settings in the Discover Store and click 2 buttons. The session logout, login, you have to do that anyways. Yeah, this terminal obsession is sometimes a bit annoying. Snap is enabled and the default. And I can't change that. Let's install the Flatpak backend. And see what happens. There, we close it again, open it. And now, can still not unchoose this. Can we make this the default? No. FlatHub to configure software, okay. Central repository of Flatpak application, blah, 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 okay. Is this now the default or is this the default? No, this is the default. Okay, now I got it. Now it works because we actually have something to set it to set the default to. Hey. But nice that you can do that without having to do terminal work. So now we have FlatHub set as default. Restart the Discover Store just in case and go to VLC, go to sources, and indeed Flatpak is the default. Let's install VLC. And we go and install Krita. It's right there. I could have installed that during the installation process, but I didn't do that on purpose because I wanted to have the Flatpak, not the repository version, which I assume that if you do it during the install process, it will pull it from the distro repository. In that case, probably this one, maybe even this one. I don't know, it's not clear which version it is, so let's install that as well. You get your little taskbar, and you click on it, it actually shows you what it's doing. And then we have our Dolphin file viewer, finder, whatever the hell you want to call that thing. And there's one function I really like personally, and I'm pretty sure you can do that with others too, but it's just this one. And you click here and you go to downloads, which is obviously empty. And then you just drag and drop stuff back and forth. Let's just do folder just for the hell of it. And then you go from here to there. No, sorry, my bad. There. Here to there. Copy here. Apply to all. Continue. There. I just fucked that up royally, didn't I? Why can I not delete them? Oh, because I'm clicking on the wrong fucking keyboard. Okay, let's try that again. You have the split. On this side you are in downloads. On this side you are in documents. Here we have a new folder. Yes, and then we go from here to here, and then we can move it there, and then it's there. Bloody hell. I'm more tired than I thought I am. Anyways. And then this little red X always shows you which window will close. There you go. The programs should have installed by now, or not. Are they still installing? That's odd. Does that just install the Flatpak backend? Hang on a second. For the store, but it doesn't activate Flatpak on the system. System, is there something Flatpak-ish? No. Oh, really? Yes, and I lost my stupid thing again. I should know this. I'm too old for remembering this kind of rubbish. Wait, that should be sudo apt install Flatpak. Is that it? We will see. Flatpak is already the newest version is installed. Where are then my programs that I just installed via this? They are installed, aren't they? Yeah. There's Krita. And there's VLC. Let's search. Krita. Get Krita. We already got it. What happens if I click here? Yeah, we have it. And I can I launch it from here? Hang on, I'm gonna try a session logout. Hey, what up?
If I can snap a piece of wood.
You did snap a piece of wood.
I did it. I did just like a karate would.
Like a karate chop would?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even though you're sick, you still could do it?
Yeah, I was like...
I have to get you some bigger pieces of wood, and then we can practice that.
Didn't break on the first one. Then they snapped on the second one.
I see.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark?
Wooden exclamation mark.
A wooden exclamation mark. Okay.
Ding.
It looks more like a wooden clock.
Ding. Ding.
That would be the... Which hand would that be?
Ding. Ding. Ding.
I'm recording right now.
Oh.
I come upstairs in a second, okay? You want to stay here? Hey, what do I do with this now?
It would.
Thank you.
Put them in the fire if you're eventually gonna make a fire.
If I make a fire, I put them in the fire. Yes, I will. There we go. Let's see. And there is Krita. So Flatpak is activated, as we saw. It just for some reason needs a logout session logout login. Multimedia VLC media players there. Let's try another Let's try another Flatpak and see if I have to logout login every time, or if that was just the first activate Flatpak thing. I don't know. That could be. Let's whatever. Sure. Why not? FlatHub, yes. But in the meantime, we will check graphics, even though it's a Flatpak and somewhat containerized. Let's see if it recognizes our now dark theme. So it does. This is done. Okay, let's see if now GIMP is here. Yeah. Apparently after activating the Flatpak, FlatHub backend in the Discover store, you have to do a logout, login. I did not see a notification for that. Could be that I missed it. I will check the video footage. But GIMP now, there we go. GIMP. GIMP does GIMP things. If you want a relatively familiar look, and you are in the KDE space, this is an option. It comes with all the Ubuntu caveats. Just like all the other Ubuntu flavors. That's why they are Ubuntu. Like it or like it not. That's really personal decision. But it works fine. Settings menu can be a bit overwhelming at times, but that's okay. Most of the settings you don't ever touch anyways. Display settings and wallpaper. Right off the right click. Just like all those other settings when you have, like, I don't know, 7 series BMW, 5 series BMW, and you can adjust the freaking fragrance of your AC unit and the mood lighting, and each driver can have their own thing. Realistically, the majority of people get into their car, set up their seat, program it to their key if the car has that function, and that's it. Radio station, I mean whatever Bluetooth thing. I'm too old. Okay, let's shut down and move on. What is the next on the list? I totally forgot. Well, we will see. Lubuntu. A lightweight version of Ubuntu, which some cynical people might say is an oxymoron. Oxymoron. I don't know which way to pronounce that word. It's a contradiction in itself. But Lubuntu, according to the website there, is designed to be a simple, easy to use system that is light, fast and modern. Lubuntu provides the LXQt desktop environment, which is focused on Qt technologies. Lubuntu comes with the essential applications and services needed to browse the internet, chat, play and be productive. Let's have a look. And once again, it greets me in with a very blurry background. What resolution is this? Desktop preferences, open terminal. Is this desktop preferences? Icon size, no. No. No, that is indeed just desktop. Where is... Ay. Let's find settings somewhere. Preferences. This is so small I can barely see that. Sorry, I have to move stuff out of the way. PCOM configuration. Oh, LXQt settings up here. Oh my god. And that another submenu. Configuration center. I just want monitor settings. There we go. Yeah, I figured this is 4K, but the background picture resolution itself is like doesn't do that. So I will go back to the 1920 by 1080. Apply. Come on, slow. Yes, I would like to keep that. And there you see now, for some reason, the window didn't properly scale. Okay, but now you guys should be able to see that better. Did we now apply? We applied that. Why was the apply button unlocked again? Let's have a quick look again. Preferences, settings, monitor settings. Okay, 60 Hertz. Yeah. Yeah, the current settings are okay for me. Okay, the apply button does not get grayed out after you apply it. But therefore there's a close button here and one up there. Okay. We got that weird notification during the installer that we are not connected to the internet, which you would expect that you are not if you have no option to connect to the internet during the install process. Let's see if we can connect to the internet now. I assume it's this. Is it this one down there? Even though I switched to 1920 by 1080, this down here is still, what is this? I can't even, oh, that's the clipper, the clipboard. This is so blurry, I cannot see that symbol. Okay, however, network manager, okay, whatever. So it comes with, did I click that now? It comes with Mozilla Firefox as usual, which works. Not going to YouTube again. Oh no, actually I do. It does YouTube. Oh, I apparently clicked it the first time around. I see. Sound works. Firefox works. Great. Computer. What is computer? It opens our file browser. And it comes with our folder and desktop. Okay. I mean, it is lightweight. I wouldn't expect too much fanciness. That's fair enough. What is this one down here? Show desktop. Oh, I see. It's like when I do this and I click there. Yes. Pac-Man file manager. Actually quite remarkable that for a lightweight system they have done all of that out here on the desktop, but then also whatever, it's their choice. You can change that and I don't have to agree with it. What does it come? Office, comes with LibreOffice. There it is. Works fine. Why does my pointer get so weirdly big? Am I stupid? Hang on. My pointer inside here is small and out here is like super large. What's the point of that? It's like 5 times the size of the icons you try to click. Like, what the hell? Oh, it comes with VLC Media Player pre-installed. That's interesting. There's a scan setting. Oh, I totally forgot to check before if it recognized my printer. Let's check it here. Print. There it is. Pretty sure Kubuntu did the same thing. As a matter of fact, I know it does the same thing because the printer is on the network and I have Kubuntu on my son's computer up there and it can see my printer. What else do we have? Go to Preferences again. System Tools. Oh, the Discover Store. There we go. It's hidden under System Tools. I would say having this no, move, resize. Can I pin that? Layer? If the Discover Store would be pinned down here, that would make more sense than having the file manager down here and access to the file manager up here. Like, this seems kind of redundant. And then having the Discover Store hidden under, where was it again? System Tools. I mean, I guess people have different preferences, but okay, it has 221 updates that need to be done, but it is unable to load the applications. Please verify internet connectivity. We do have indeed internet connectivity. Let's try that again. Now it works. Question is, what would we install? Let's install Krita. What are the sources we are pulling from? the way this looks like, it's pulling from the Ubuntu repository, because for some weird reason, at some point, it just stopped loading the preview pictures. Yeah, as I said, it's the Ubuntu repository. Let's switch to the snap version of Krita, and there it all of a sudden does load. One doesn't have to understand that, right? Okay. Shall we install snap? I would almost say on a lightweight distro, like when you really need like a smaller package, I think installing the distro version would make more sense, because then you don't have redundant dependency packaged in for each program. Well, let's go with the one that was standard. Install that first and then see if there's a difference between that one and the snap version. Install. It should be here under graphics. Krita, there it is. 5.22 version, which is the older version, as expected. What is actually officially the current Krita version? What, did I just... Oh, once again, wrong keyboard. Current Krita version is 5.2.14. This is 5.22. So that is 12 patches ago, if I'm not mistaken here. It's not super outdated, but it is a little bit older version. Let's see again how fast that... I didn't pay attention. That's how fast it starts. And then we uninstall that and install the snap version and see if there is a difference. Remove. Since we're waiting, we can check something. It also lets us install the Flatpak backend right here. We will do that in a minute. Oh, you can apparently enter system settings also through the Discover store? Oh no, what? Oh, that's system settings apps. I was like, okay, because this is quite literally in other KDE desktops. This is the symbol they would have in for system settings. I was like, that makes no sense. Why would I access my system settings through the Discover store? That would be completely bonkers. And indeed, it's not that. It is snappy though. I've seen that scrolling slower. Oh boy, snap package installing. Come on. Get it done with. What was that? Why are we now on a different... Why did it switch back to 4K resolution? What the heck? Where? Alright, we don't have that. Okay, that is preferences, settings, monitor settings. Advanced settings. Okay. I would like to click yes, but lag from the close. That was odd. What triggered that? Now we have Krita the snap. Click. It's the pre-alpha. of 5.2.11. 5.2.14, as I said earlier, is the current one. So even if you install the snap, you still don't get the newest version of the software. Interesting. Okay, let's uninstall that. No, wrong. System tools, Discover Store. Why can I not just pin this to the taskbar? Anyhow, let's install that. No. Alright, I have to go to here, and then it shows me that I have that one installed, and then I have to do this and uninstall it. And we try. It switched back to 4K resolution. Apparently fiddling about in the Discover Store does that. Oh my goodness. Lag. Maybe I just leave this up here, so in case it switches again, I don't have to go through this entire process. It's all good. What's up?
Over here, Dial. Where's Grandma? What is her doing?
You want to play hairstyle with Grandma?
Yes, with this here. Baby.
Did it install that now? Damn it, now I was distracted. Let's assume it installed it. And let's see if we have to do that log out, login thing again. Sources, yes, FlatHub is not here yet. There was no Flatpak, so I have to go now there, I suppose. Leave, and shutdown should not have the same icon. Just saying, for people who have issue reading. I mean, you quite literally have a logout symbol here. Why not use that down there? And why do I have to choose this twice? Do you want to re-log out? Yes. I have the feeling it switched resolution again because my screen was dark for way longer than you guys. That usually means there was a lag due to the capture card. Yes, and indeed it did. Oh boy, this is painful. Monitor settings. Can you just stay here at this setting? You Windows stay now up there. Oh no, actually, you know what? You Windows stay down there. Stop being stupid. Let's see if we now have in settings Flatpak, and we can make that the default. But it's really remarkable that you cannot unselect snap. Just like it was in Ubuntu Studio and in Kubuntu before. So, but we still have to add FlatHub as the repository. Okay. That should now work, I hope. Let's see. Krita. Search. Oh, of Of course, you have to first search. You're not searching through the entire store, you're searching in the category you're in. Sorry, that is me. Okay, let's check that again. We made the central repository of Flatpak applications. FlatHub is the default source. Go to all applications. Search for Krita. And here it gives us as... See that there is FlatHub, that there's a Flatpak of GNOME available? It's right there. But even though I made FlatHub my default repository, it still gives me the Ubuntu LTS freaking package as default. This should all be now FlatHub. Okay, before, let's just restart. Last time we had to do a restart too for the Discover store to recognize that. Let's see what happens. Krita. Nope. There they are. And this one is now set to 5.214, which is the current one and the Flatpak application. However, let's just test something. Gemini. Let's just search actively for Gemini. Gemini. Nope. I click on it and distributed by Ubuntu. Okay, that was apparently a bad example because Gemini doesn't have a Flatpak available at all. Okay, that's fair enough. But Gwen View, we've seen that before. If I search for it, it gives me the Flatpak as standard, as I said I would like to have it. But then when it is catered to me as an alternative to what I search for, it pushes the Ubuntu one. That's quite something. Okay, we install now the Flatpak of Krita. Then we can see if that starts faster than the snap. But holy camoly, that's a thing. And here, voxel paint, snap. Let's see, is there a different version? No, if there is only a snap version, fair enough. Vara, only snap. But is there only a snap? Let's see. No, there isn't. Vara, snap, Vara, Flatpak. You can decide for yourself. Graphics. We installed the Flatpak of Krita and it does not show up anywhere here. However, if we search for it, I bet it's just right there. No, it is not. Okay, leave, log out. Yes, and back to 4K again. I just want to see if now Krita is there. I'm not going through the whole freaking process of, and there now is Krita. So to summarize this, I actively choose to only use or want to have my default to be Flatpak. the apps that are catered to me through the Discover store are shown as the Snap or the Ubuntu repository version. Only if I actively search for the app do I get the Flatpak. If I install the Flatpak, it looks like it didn't install in the first, it didn't install at all because it doesn't show up in my menu. Then I have to log out and log in for the Flatpak to show up. Yeah. There we go. And no weird developer version pre-alpha warning symbol up there compared to the compared to the Snap version. Wow. Let's move on to what is the next on the list? Ubuntu with the Budgie desktop. Let's see if the Budgie can keep its resolution together. Okay, let's see what Ubuntu Budgie has to offer. Quite the background. And oh, email ballot. Budgie, welcome. Let's not go through that. Are we logged into the internet? I think so. I had a little bit of issue there. I also, during the installation, did not choose the update for the installer, and I installed the regular desktop, not the minimal version. However, I did opt to install third-party codecs and drivers and all that stuff, even though it's probably not necessary for the Optiplex, but just in case. This is apparently, up here are the workspaces. What is this? Quick note, text will be saved automatically while typing, okay. This, oh, sidebar with widgets. Okay, cool. On the other hand, we have a dock and a top bar. So it uses up unnecessary space in my opinion. Let's see what this Budgie up here does. I see that is our start menu. Okay, what does the Budgie do down here? It starts the Budgie welcome thing. Can we get rid of it? Yeah, we could get rid of it by just clicking here. More importantly, we are once again in, sorry, I forgot, 4K. Let's see if we can change that. Change desktop background, desktop settings. Create new folder, desktop name, desktop settings is probably just, yeah, okay, now we have to dig for system settings. Don't need that, we could maybe just display. There we go. That should now be better for you guys. However, oh, now I closed it. Gosh darn. Additional drivers. Where would the settings be again? Let's see how we... Budgie desktop settings, Budgie control center. Is it control center? There we go. I'm not a fan of desktop environments, generally speaking, that only give you like 100%, 200%, 300%, 400%. It's like, that's pretty useless. Let's see what happens if we activate fractional scaling. Let's restart that just in case. Aha! That... Isn't that... Didn't it just go back to 100? Okay, 125. Apply. Keep. Okay, that now works. Don't know what I did wrong there. Must have clicked the wrong thing. That's fine. Because let's just for the hell of it, turn that off again. Oh. Apparently I have to do this, apply. And then we can turn this off. Now I have, oh boy, when things don't, you have to restart the thing all the time. That is quite annoying. Now fractional scaling is still somehow activated, but it isn't. Well, what I was going to say is 200% changes cannot be applied. Hardware limitations. Changes cannot be applied. What the hell? Why is no fractional scaling still on? I thought we turned that off. Oh brother. Session logout. Where would I find that? Probably up here. The application files has closed unexpectedly. We never had files open in the first place. Okay, let's try this again. Display setting. Okay, now fractional scaling is actually off, so it needed a logout and a session restart. This kind of stuff is just, in my opinion, unacceptable. Sorry, that seems harsh, but it's 2025. Other desktop environments just deal better with that kind of stuff. 200%. Apply. Nothing has changed. Okay, 200%. Apply. That was not a mistake of mine in the first place. And you now see, you see what the issue is here. I mean, I'm going to change now to this and let's see what happens. One could now say, I use a different resolution on a screen that is not for that resolution, but okay, I will go back to 100% and go back to 1920 by 1080. Keep this. Once again, nothing changed. Oh my god. And now there's also now 300 and 400. Okay. Now it's allegedly 100%. Apply. Keep this. Hang on. I want to now try something. I go to 400% on a 4K display. Apply. The same rubbish. It just doesn't scale properly. Like, what is this? Like, I mean, at least this time it was accessible. Hey. Okay, let's give it a shot again. I mean, this is ridiculously large. This scaling is, but no, it does not scale properly. I mean, what the hell? No, I would like to. Infuriating. Sorry. Displays. Okay, let's go to back to 100%. Try to find the apply button up there in the corner. Apply. Now the thing is all the way fucking over there, out of the screen. What the heck? Jesus Murphy, what is this? Software and updates. I must have accidentally clicked on that when it didn't scale properly. Wow. Apply. Keep this configuration. Hi. Okay, so off. Other than that, Firefox works, sound works. What do we have down there? LibreOffice Calculator and LibreOffice Writer. Let's just click on it. There it is. Oh, this is overly colorful. Oh, whoa. That's, well, that can probably be changed, but still, it's there. And we can check, did it already recognize our printer? Yeah, it did. There it is. That is really, most of the time, not an issue at all. Where do we close it now? Here. What else do we have? In terms of, like, I don't like this. These could be bigger. This is very fidgety to click on there. Firefox. It's a drawing app. There's your LibreOffice. Oh, also Mahjong. Quite comprehensive when it comes to the software, but I installed the full package. Let's check out the App Center. Go to Manage. Okay, Manage is just manage the ones that are currently installed. Okay, back to Explore. See, Krita is there. Oh, filtered by. What other option do we have? Snap or Debian? Okay. The latest stable. It's the Debian package, because that's what I chose beforehand. But let's see, under About, it's just really About. So there is no, just like settings and then install Flatpak. No, there isn't. And I will not go through the whole terminal process in order to install Flatpak. But just to give it a shot, maybe there is. Flat. Nope. Flat. Because sometimes when you just search, it then gives you the install the thing you search for option, but in this case it does not. Yeah. So without manual intervention on Ubuntu Budgie, by manual intervention I mean terminal intervention. KDE is also manual intervention, but it was just click stuff. You will not have the option for Flatpak. Some people might not think that's necessary, but if you want the newest version, that's usually the way to go. Yeah. Other than that, it's actually quite pretty, but this is not for me. And this scaling thing, ugh. Anyhow, I don't know what else can I say. I mean, the things that it needs to do are actually pretty. It does it. I wonder if you can change this kind of stuff. I mean, what's the point? You already take up the entire top part of my screen with the freaking clock. And this, which could be down there. Is there maybe, if I click, right click, change thing? Context click? Nope, it isn't. Is it maybe here? Oh no, that was that text thing. What do we down here? Right click in the dock. Preferences, let's see, maybe we can change something. Position. That's just the position of the dock. What is if we go top? Now it makes sense that we have a big clock down there. Yeah, okay. If someone wants to dig around with that, they can. I will move on to next will be Ubuntu Cinnamon. Okay, this is the login screen of Ubuntu Cinnamon, which installs from a live session, and then the installer is in like a small window. Unlike, for instance, Kubuntu, which has a full screen, and others do that too, where you then can choose try and it would lead you to the live session, or immediately install, and then you have a full screen installer. Makes no difference, the underlying installer is essentially always the same. This one even had the same accessibility options as Edubuntu had in the installer, which failed so spectacularly. I did choose to install the full desktop, not just the minimized version, as I always do. And what else did I write down here? Oh, I did opt out of the third-party driver and codec thing because I tried to save some time on the installation, but I have the feeling the time saving was a bit negligible. It's not that it installs really slowly. Quite recently I had to install Windows 11. That's a whole different ballgame. Anyways, once again, created in 4K, and I will attempt to switch the resolution. Display settings, fantastic. Having it right there, it's great. You know what? Before we change the resolution, let's try something else. Since that was such a quite a disaster in Budgie, let's see what happens if we crank this to 400%. Which is, of course, completely ridiculous, but yeah, keep the configuration for now. Holy camoli, I mean, wow and wow. Huh? What? Oh, this is something I really don't like. I came across that in, I can't remember, oh, the OBS settings. You have your thing here, your pointer, and you scroll, and it scrolls, but as soon as it hits one of these fields, it stops scrolling and changes your settings. What? Yes, I did connect to that already in the installer and it worked. It also immediately recognized my printer, even in the live session. Yeah, but back to this, see, now I'm at 860, and if 800 by 600, okay, but I don't want to be there. So this is a feature I'm not a big fan of. This works. Let's see how our menu looks like. Our menu works too. Something else, it's not important here because it's only one monitor, but if you have a multi-monitor setup and you have a little indicator, specifically if they are color-coded, that is very nice to have, whereas in KDE, if you have a multi-monitor setup, it gives you like the whatever, I think it's based on the serial number or whatever of the display. And I have two displays that are relatively similar in serial number, and it's a pain in the butt to know which one is which. You always have to go to identify, and then it just pops up the label of each screen on the screen, but then it goes away. This being here permanently, it's very handy. So now let's go back to, where are we? 100 4K. No, that's not what we want. We want to go to this 100%, apply, keep the new configuration. Here we go. What else do we have? Settings. Disable automatic screen rotation. Yeah, okay. My personal updated software has been issued since was released. Do you want to install it now? No, remind me later, please. Not important right now. There you guys see my printer is right down there. In my opinion, and that's personal preference, Cinnamon is one of the, don't want to say ugly, it's one of the drearier desktop environments. I know a lot of stuff can be changed, I get that, but still, like, even here, this brown background, I know it's Cinnamon, and then these gray icons with the brown. I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. It is what it is. My Honda Civic interior is also kind of dreary, but still functional. So dreariness does not necessarily mean it is awful. On the other hand, if it is too stylish, that sometimes doesn't really do the job. Okay, let's see what we have in the menu. What is this up there? Chat over, supports, blah, blah, blah. Okay, some kind of a chat function. System settings, right there, nice to have. Yeah, see, like this and this and this and this and this, and that all just looks a little bit too similar. I know on KDE Dolphin everything is just blue, but I have to find something to bitch about. We can change themes. What do we have here? Oh, can do a lot of things. Okay, won't do that. What does it come with? There should be somewhere graphics, internet, obviously Firefox. Oh, I didn't realize it's not already pre-set up in the taskbar down there. Okay, let's go. Where was I now? Internet. Now I lost it. I'm getting too old for this crap. There we go. Can we pin it to the taskbar? Right click, pin to panel. Sure, call it a panel. Doesn't have to be a taskbar. YouTube, pretty sure audio works. Yes, it does. Why would it not? There we go. What else do we have? Office, all of the LibreOffice, the entire suite is installed. I kind of always like when they hide this, because all it does is it opens essentially the LibreOffice launcher. I don't know why that is necessary when you have them right here. It's just redundancy. Oh, it has the same colorful theme as it was in Budgie. No, I do not want to learn what it's new. It's there and it works. Then let's now find the door of sorts. No, that's not it. That's not it. What would that be called? Software something. Okay, what is it called? Software sender or something? Software? Software. There it is. Why is this not? Did I not see that? Administration? Places? No. Recent files? Obviously not. Preferences? It's not in preferences. Administration. It's not in administration. Oh no, it is in administration. Why would you hide that in administration? That's not necessary. Anyway, this is the software center. And you can see installed. It's all that's installed. Good, good, good. Let's see what settings has to offer. Oh, well, go away. Software repositories. Canonical, supported, free, open, blah, 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 blah. Pack, it shows me the Discover Store. I can just install the Discover Store. Let's just do that for shits and giggles. This might break a bunch of stuff. I'm not certain. Yeah, let's stick with that. I don't know if two competing software stores will have issues. We will figure that out in a second. Other than that, if we now go to Krita, it crashed. But now we have the Discover Store installed. We go back to the software center here. Let's search Krita. Once again, something I don't understand. I searched particularly for Krita. Why is it number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the list? Why is it not the first one? Oh look, this is now the Ubuntu deb package, and here it actually does load the preview. Oddly enough, does it tell you which version it is? Yes, it does down here. I let that install real quick. I'm pretty sure it just works. Why would it not? And then we will investigate the Discover Store installation. As a matter of fact, I will do that now. Because you will not figure out if two competing software centers or software stores will fight each other if you don't run them at the same time. Here we go. And they indeed do. No, we don't send that. Okay, what? It did not close. It's still running. What was that about? Odd. Let's see what we got here. Settings. And here we can install the Flatpak backend. Let's do that. Did it install? I suppose it did. Gonna close that for a moment. Wait until this is done. Then have to restart probably the Discover Store again in order to have the Flatpak option enabled. Ta-da! I guess it worked. Yes, it did work. Coolio. Which should now be under graphics. No. Yes. But it has no... why is there just the name? Doesn't have an icon. Okay. Once again, pre-alpha. Is this the snap? Wasn't the last time the deb package was 5.2.2, the snap was 5.2.11, and the Flatpak was 5.2.14. Let's double check. Administration, software, installed. Oop, there we are. Krita. Maybe I was wrong. .2.11. I have to check the video footage. I'm pretty sure the last time this one... Oh no, it did install the snap. See? I didn't choose snap. Arrgh. I could swear that when it was uninstalled, the first option that showed up here was the deb package. And when I then click install, shouldn't it then install that one? There, see? Ubuntu, deb package, but this one is pre-selected. Ah. So if you just look at it like this, you think, oh, fine, it installs the Ubuntu whatever version. I could have seen that down here because of the version number. But it doesn't say anywhere else snap. So snap is the it's the preference, so you would have to do this. And that also explains why it did load the preview pictures, because as soon as you choose the Ubuntu deb package or repository version, whatever, it does not load these pictures anymore. And now it is in fact 5.2.2. Bloody Nora. Is this the Snap logo? Ah, this is the Snap logo, but instead of saying Snap, like it does down here, it says Ubuntu. I mean, sure, Snap is Ubuntu, but it's confusing. Doesn't need to be like that. Okay, let's check now the Discover Store, our newest tool in the toolbox. We did in fact install Flatpak. Flatpak is now the default. We're gonna add FlatHub, and we can once again not deactivate Snap. I mean, I cannot force Ubuntu to say get rid of the Snap thing, just like people cannot force NVIDIA to make their drivers open source. On the other hand, NVIDIA was never in the open source space in the first place. Ubuntu, however, fill in the blanks. And by that I mean actually Canonical. Because as far as I know, the Snap thing comes from Canonical. You get it. Where are we now again? Administration, Discover Store. Let's go here. Let's go to sources. Flatpak is pre-set as the default. What happens if I do this? Krita, if I would just click install. Let's see once again, all of these, there's the Snap package of voxel paint. but we learned before, no, wait, if I go to QuenView, QuenView does have this, but if I don't actively search for it, it gives you the snap or the Ubuntu deb package as a default. Once again, only if you actively search for it. Let's see if that is true for voxel too. Voxel paint, yeah, see? What is this now? This is now Flatpak. Which one is that? Sources, Flatpak. But as soon as I go here, VL, or let's say video player, the first one on the list is the Ubuntu package. And I then have to manually change it to the default I wanted to have. Well, I don't know if that is a great overall user experience. You know, user experience is more than just pretty graphics and funky icons. Okay, moving on. The next one on the list will be Ubuntu Kailin. It's apparently for Chinese people. See if one can actually use that as a non-Chinese person. If everything is in Chinese, I will obviously not install it. Welcome to not Ubuntu Kailin, because I could not download Ubuntu Kailin. I tried to do the basic version, which gave me a 404 page not found error. Then I tried the enhanced, whatever that means, version, and that would just load endlessly and never connect to the download server. I do not know if those servers are actually located in China. That is quite possible, because basically the majority of mirror options on the bottom of the web page are all in Chinese characters, and as I said before, I can't speak neither Mandarin nor Cantonese. I won't go there. So we are now going to look at Ubuntu Mate. And besides this weird scaling, locating glitch during the installation, it was pretty standard, except for the fact that I was not able to connect to the Wi-Fi network. After 5 attempts, I just cancelled that and installed without internet connection, which obviously works. So let's have a look at Ubuntu Mate. I'm just going to start the desktop first and then see if we can now connect to the internet. Oh, right. Mate, the, to me personally, weird cousin of Cinnamon. Now I have a bar on the top and a bar on the bottom. Welcome to widescreen movie experience on a 4:3 screen without having a 4:3 screen. Let's see if we can change resolution, because we are currently in 4K. No, I cannot. Okay, then I will first do the internet thing. Yes, I know I'm disconnected. I was never. Now I am connected. So I obviously did enter the password during the installation properly, but it didn't connect me to the internet during the installation. Okay, now I have to try and find display settings, because this is enormously tiny and I can't even see what this is down there on the bottom. Also, who came up with the idea that green and gray would be, and then white would be something that actually is a good contrast? Probably system tools? Oh no, control center. Sorry, there we go. Hardware, it would be displays. Yeah, this is essentially Cinnamon with an extra bar. Scaling. Let's switch to apply. Keep this configuration, and as before, everything is now somehow wedged into the lower corner. Oh, I see. If I push that all the way there, it does that thing. But yeah, this is nice to have. I said that before. Let's see what happens when we go to 200%. Well, it crashes. Fucking brilliant. Okay, folks. Due to the rules of this series, everything that failed spectacularly, like this just did, disqualifies it. Done, not fit for purpose. I'm done here. Moving on. Okay, this is the live session of Ubuntu Unity. This is one of these desktop environments you hear a lot of rumors about on the internet and on YouTube that the community didn't like it, but it was actually good. I don't know. I'm kind of excited seeing it, but the reason why I show you this installer in the live session is that you straight up are greeted with a list of keyboard shortcuts, which as soon as I click on them are gone. I personally am not a fan of keyboard shortcuts for the simple reason I don't want to bother learning them. There's enough of shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts, that I actually use in the programs that I use every day. I do not need that on my desktop. Might be a sign of my advanced age. I don't know. And then it says that networks available, and Ubuntu 24.04 has experienced an internal error. I literally just started into the freaking live session. What error? Okay, don't send. Don't send. I will try to install that now, okay? See you later. Okay. This looks exactly like the live session, as you would expect, with the same keyboard shortcuts. And the same odd internal error. This is the first time that an Ubuntu-based distro did not recognize my Wi-Fi dongle. I'm gonna do a plugin. System program problem detected. How can I report the problem if I'm not freaking connected? This is the Wi-Fi dongle in question. The TP-Link T2U. Gonna plug it in again. Wi-Fi network available. Use the network menu to connect to Wi-Fi network. Okay. Wi-Fi network is grayed out. System program. Cancel. Maybe here. All settings. Is that all settings? All settings. Oh, Wi-Fi. There it is. I would call that a rocky start, but it worked after all. Connection established. You are now connected. Why does that look like something bad? Did I mess that up? Hang on a sec. When I clicked here before, offline, yes, I know. Oh, I did not go to available networks. I thought I had to click here, but this is just, okay, my bad. This is just the category. That is poorly designed, sorry, but it is. Other than that, it's actually kind of pretty. I'm not a big fan of this sidebar, one of the reasons why I do not use regular Ubuntu. And this is the other reason. If it is there, when is this now full screen? Oh boy. I see. This is not floating windows. Yeah. How would I close that now? obviously not here. I guess I was supposed to learn these keyboard shortcuts. File. No. Go here, right click, quit. Okay. I guess that works. Help. That's great. Where are all my programs? Ubuntu desktop. No. Switch theme. I do not give a toss about the scheme. I mean theme. Let's see if we can change the display. Come, lag. Let me say that I keep this. Yes, keep this. Doodaloo. This down there is the trash can. Yeah, that's fine. Where would a guy install? Where's Firefox? Where's like anything? English? Yeah, I couldn't care less. This might as well just be Chinese. I would still not find what I'm looking for. Search your computer. Oh, applications? Is that? Oh, this is a category. Firefox. What? Okay, let's do this again. Here. We close this. So there's then help. What is... Oh, here are categories. Oh, brother. Applications. Applications. Yeah. Installed. See 73 more results. Oh, this is intuitive. Okay. Audio works. I hate it when it's up there. So what is this then? I just have to click on that and then figure out what it is. This is then folders. Okay. This is multimedia of videos. I see. How these would then be. If I then go music, double click. Let's just create a new folder just for the hell of it. And then if I go here, then that new folder would be here. No. So this is then just file types. I see. This home doesn't show you all your applications. It shows you the ones you used last. Recently used. Yeah. Why have that? Why not have just that? Okay. I mean, let's try and find the software center or whatever the heck it is called here. Okay, I don't know. Software and updates, software updater. Okay, let's open this for shits and giggles. Oh no, this actually just checks for updates. Okay, no, thank you, don't. I do not want to update. Let's do this again. Software. Where would that be here? If I go here, oh, close that. I go to this thing, go to show all. That should then be under S somewhere, right? S. Oh yeah, there it is, down here. Software and updates. Oh boy, we've seen that before. This is not... Okay, I lost interest. Moving on. Are you actually shutting down? What's going on here? It's now just stuck. Well, great. Fucking brilliant. Hard reset it is again. We're getting now to Xubuntu, the Ubuntu flavor with the XFCE desktop environment. And during the installation, I had this weird glitch. But besides that, the installation process worked without any issues until it came to the point where I had to restart. It somehow got stuck at that screen. And then I just removed the installation medium and hit the reset button, and the operating system did in fact install properly. I do not know why it got stuck there. No idea. Okay, let's have a look.
No, we won't. And here's why. I messed up the first shoot of this section of the video. On my quest to install software, like I usually do, I was searching for something called Software Center or something software related. However, what I missed was the blatantly named App Center that stared me right in the face, and I scrolled past several times. Probably my old man's brain was looking for, you know, the item you are certain that it is green, but it is actually red. So I ended up, in the original version of this video, installing Krita via the terminal. But you don't have to. It does have an App Center. And in the live session, this is what it looks like. So it is the regular Software Center, and it doesn't have the handy dandy GUI version of integrating Flatpak and FlatHub repositories. I usually don't shoot live sessions because they're laggy. And that's the reason why I didn't install any software this time. Because when I tried to reinstall Xubuntu in order to reshoot this section of the video, I was greeted with this bug. You know, the unknown error. And it didn't install at all anymore. And by the rules of this video series, if your installer fails, it's not ready for purpose. It's really a little bit weird that this random "it doesn't install" is apparently all of a sudden a standard feature. I don't get it. Especially I installed it before. And besides, as already mentioned, the weird glitch and that it hung itself up during reboot, it installed fine. So yeah, let's move on.
Now we're getting to the big dog, Ubuntu. The installer, as usual, without a hitch, no problem. I had sometimes systems where I couldn't install, let's say, I don't know, name it some kind of Debian, but Ubuntu would install. I also sometimes had systems where Ubuntu wouldn't install and Debian would install, but Ubuntu is usually pretty hitch-free. The installer is one of the best laid out installers in terms of graphical installers that I've seen so far. It also beats Microsoft Windows 11 or 10 installer by a bloody country mile. Credit where credit is due. And we are already in 1920 by 1080 because I forgot to turn on the camera earlier. So let's quickly go back to the 4K resolution. I will change again, no worries. Just to see how it handles that. Keep changes, yes. And I can now show you what is, to me, now the home folder is gone. Oh no, now the home folder is here. Why is the home folder here? Oh, because we switched from a small resolution to a large resolution, because usually the home folder is all the way down there. And that is one of the things that already annoys me. You have a large display in order to have visual real estate. If I have one additional bar that I don't need, that's to me annoying. And if I then have everything up here and then a redundant home folder all the way down here, that's also annoying. I know, it can be changed. Not the point. Anyhow, we are changing back to 1920 by 1080 and we keep it. So you also see that the windows have your regular window controls, unlike in vanilla GNOME. GNOME, sorry, not GNOME. These are your, I think, workspaces. Then let's check Firefox. Audio works, as expected. And why did I say that I don't understand this redundant home folder? I mean, when I click here, it brings me straight to the home folder. One click, double click. For what does that do any good? I mean, it shows people that they can have symbols on the desktop, I suppose. What do we have down here? Oh, that's our app thing. Software updater, software and updates. Let's see, we have LibreOffice Writer. There it is. Are we on a light theme? I don't know my way around GNOME, but when I look at this bar and this bar, that looks darkish, but hang on, was that light too? Yeah, okay, it's light. Never mind, all good. And oh, it's pretty sure it has recognized my printer. There it is. What else do we have? This is then probably the App Center. Yes, nice to have that right out here instead of like buried somewhere. But where would we be? Startup applications, text editor, transmission. That is the same thing. Which other distro was that? I can't remember. There was another distro where the same thing. You had the App Center here, but it is not in all applications. Okay, let's open that first and see what we are doing before we do some weird stuff. Krita. Here would be Krita. Oh, here we can choose if we want to have the deb package or the snap package. There is no Flatpak pre-set up, obviously. Under manage, no, there seems to be no, unlike Discover Store, no simple click enable Flatpak and click tie in the FlatHub repository thing. You would have to do that via terminal, which I won't. Let's install then. Krita should be without a hitch, and it is set to snap packages as standard, so we install the snap package because that is what they want us to do. Okay, once again, this is my App Center and Rhythm Box is here, but it is not here. If I now, how do I close this? Click here. I really don't like this always full screen thing. It's quite annoying for a lot of things. See, this is normal, but a menu like this, why does that have to be bloody full screen? And then I have to go down here. Like, whatever. Personal preference. If I unpin this, has been unpinned from the dash. Okay. Does it now show up in here? Now it shows up in here. Okay, good. So you don't accidentally lose your apps when you unpin them from the taskbar. So that is just, is this done with installing? No, it's currently installing. Then there was the other weird thing. I want to see if this does that too. Where's the calendar? Calendar. Close calendar. Go here. Doesn't show me background apps running because I had that in the other distros that were with GNOME, and the calendar was constantly then running in the background after starting it the first time. I don't know. You also have settings here. Is this done installing? Still installing. Okay, that takes a long ass time. Let's see how it handles scaling. Like, I have to say, in comparison to the vanilla GNOME, this is way more approachable, my opinion. But I don't know. There might be some special things I'm really not aware of that GNOME can do that KDE cannot do. But when you are at that point of customization, you might as well use KDE. You know, if you have to stray from the original vanilla GNOME in order to make this happen, like, you know, the window controls up here, and like not everything with the command key, I'm saying, it's not Apple, like down there, on Windows is the Windows key. Super key, bloody hell. Let's see how it handles scaling. Heap changes. There it is scaled, ridiculously large. Have we been able to, is this still installing? Oh, it's done, okay, oh. But see, the scaling is not without issues. Where are now my window controls? Yeah, that is why I'm not a fan of these 100, 200% scaling things. Let's see if this has, and I think it should have, fractional scaling. There it is. Keep changes, turn on fractional scaling. Here we go, and then we can go 125%. Apply. Keep changes. Yeah, that works better. And 200% is, unless you have a big presentation display of some sort, it's that is the standard is a little bit weird, but hey, it can be changed. So we go back to 100. Turn off fractional scaling and apply and keep. And now we should have Krita down here somewhere. I saw it already prior. Where is it? Over here. Doesn't load the proper icon. Why does it not load the proper icon? Let's wait. There we go. Took a little bit longer than expected, huh? Okay, let's uninstall the snap and like also this. I haven't used Ubuntu like in that form. I used Ubuntu Studio, which has a KDE Plasma desktop and is also quite modified. Anyways, I will, like this is quite intuitive. You see open, oh no, there's a little sub menu. Oh, uninstall, fine. This is perfectly legit. I mean, that is pretty good. Nothing to complain about. But I just noticed something, that the fractional scaling here somehow messed up my OBS recording. Why is that now? Why is this now weird? Ah, this is so annoying. Everything is set to 1920 by 1080. Why is it now all of a sudden over there wrong? It wasn't wrong before. Just gonna log out, log in real quick. Maybe that fixes it. Okay, after log out, log in. Now we have the proper scaling again, even in the recording. Like, why is this scaling situation, why does that create such problems? Let's see if we can re-enact this. So I did this, I applied, keep changes. Now that works. I went back to 100, applied, keep changes, activated fractional scaling, went to 150%, apply, keep changes. I went to 100% and turned that off and apply, and now my recording is all buggered up. And now I myself can't see anything anymore. What is going on here? Why is this now still 200%? I thought we went to 100%. And now all of a sudden the recording works as well. Okay, weird. Anyhow, now we will try and install the deb package for Krita, and I bet that we will have, where are we here? No, I don't know. Is that once again, really? If I go Krita and then I go to this pre-selected one. Oh, I see. There are two snap package and Debian packages. I see. Okay, we want to have this, which once again does not load the previews properly. We try and install this one, and if that installs, I'm almost certain that we will have the proper Krita icon in our app menu. This seems to take a while. That's okay. What else does it come with while it is installing down there? Additional drivers. No additional drivers available. No, obviously not, because I did not install them. But a driver manager is a nice thing to have, generally speaking. What else do we have? Oh, see? If you install the deb package, you get the proper icon. If you install the snap package, you get this weird generic icon. That generic icon situation is, in some circumstances, also a thing with Flatpaks. I had that happen on, oh, what was it? Oh yeah, it was actually on Aurora. And I just, for the hell of it, I tried to install Google Chrome. Not tried to, I installed the Flatpak of Google Chrome. It's not that I use it, I just wanted to see. And also Microsoft Edge, which exists as a Flatpak. Don't know why you want it, but maybe in some circumstances you actually need it, because I realized that there are some government web pages that do not work well with the Firefox. Anyhow, Google Chrome did not have the Google Chrome symbol in the app menu. As soon as you launched Google Chrome, you had the Google Chrome symbol in the taskbar, and you could pin it as Google Chrome with the symbol into the taskbar, but it was not in the menu where it shows you all the apps. That is some kind of a Flatpak tie-in thing, or missing icons thing. I don't know. However, this is Ubuntu, and Snap is their proprietary packaging thing, which they want you to use. As you can see. And if you then install something as a Snap, and it just gives you some weird generic icon here in your app launcher thing, those are the kind of rough and unpolished edges that make for a less than ideal user experience. And then when you go with a deb package, you get the right icon, but it is not the newest version. I mean, the Snap package is also not the newest version, but still, then you need to, like, you know, I don't like to deal with manual intervention on stuff. I want to install and be done with it. Okay, but it works. It will run. We've seen that now so many times. Functional. Maybe it doesn't run. No, it does run. I was like, why do I get this? Whatever triggers this "it doesn't respond" warning is a little bit too twitchy. So, but yeah, this is how Ubuntu looks like. Right click here, doesn't give you any changeability. Right click here, doesn't give you any changeability. You can do a new folder, you cannot do create new document or something. And yeah, that is that. It is what it is. It is a valid option with all the caveats that come with it, and there's more than enough documentation about that on the internet. I personally moved on, but that is me. That does not mean that you have to do the same thing.
Overall, this was a mediocre showing, at best. And that makes it really hard to sum up. The whole experience reminded me of the Mercedes quality crisis in the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, a once reputable brand, the pinnacle of German engineering, fell from the top tier to the bottom tier in the J.D. Power's quality study and every other quality index. all due to misguided decisions from management. Now, I don't know if that's what's happening here. I have no inside information, but it smells awfully similar. And here's the thing. My son's Kubuntu install from this video has sparked more "Daddy, something's wrong with my computer" calls in the last 2 weeks than the entire 2.5 months before, combined. Freezes, graphical glitches, the works. Yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit haunted.